Along a flyway, seasonally, birds migrate often north and south between breeding and wintering grounds. Many species migrate, and these occur naturally on one hand, even though out of necessity compelled by other environmental factors on the other hand. This migration carries high cost in predation and mortality, including hunting by humans. Migration is driven primarily by availability of food. It occurs mainly in the northern hemisphere, where birds are funneled onto specific routes by natural barriers such as the Mediterranean and Caribbean seas. Migration dates back to about 3,000 years. Every year, on the 9th of May, the United Nations celebrate World's Migratory Birds Day to create awareness and promote safety of birds that migrate. During flight, some birds become incapacitated and are unable to continue the flight, which explains why sometimes we wake up to the sight of rare species of birds in our compounds. What are we supposed to do should this happen? Globally speaking, in other parts of the world, value is attached to this species of bird, even though that cannot be said about most African countries, Nigeria inclusive, where these birds are hunted down either for food or sold in the market to make money.
Hello and welcome. It's time for another interesting package of
Everything Music.
Angelina, you dey cool in my temperature. If you call, I go come deliver.
This is Stocky Movies.
In times of old, the world was full of wonder.
Welcoming you to your weekend for today.
Right, so come patrol. It's time to use our boy.
Beyond Six Packs.
Bills.
Pay the bill. He ain't up on bill. Pay my bill.
Welcome to Gallery.
Me and my paddies.
London for what?
London for medicine.
Medicine for what?
Medicine for coffee.
Are you sweetness?
To our illness. Welcome to Gist Zone.
All right, my name is the Eselucien Wego One. Ona nyokoko nyonyo.
Wannan labarin ma yana peji na 36.
Ita kuma babban labarin wannan jarida shine ainihin
labarin da ake gaban jarida shine ta bayyana cewa
ọkwa ji ikenga eziokwu
Nwanne m nwoke.
Ikechukwu Ndukwe Igbo
Mam, iji wee mee ka ụbọchị na-aga n'anya ya.
ọjị na-ewutelu ndụ
Nation. What's your
I want to assure you that the federal government will immediately subject this report to its internal review and approval processes.
New revenue formula. President Buhari says implementation will depend on constitutional review. Vice President Oshibajo commissions projects in Maiduguri, describes Borno as one of Nigeria's luckiest states.
This, of course, is the first step in ensuring that we have more women in both elective and appointive positions.
On the 2023 election, governing APC adopts no-cost policy for female aspirants.
For now, the law is that the governor defecting from his political party to another is doing so in exercise of his constitutional right for freedom.
Also tonight, court declines to sack Governor Ayade and deputy over defection to APC. Good evening. Welcome to NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stober in Abuja. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams is standing by to join us later. Well, just to remind you that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and all our social media platforms displayed on the screen. President Muhammadu Buhari has formally received the report on the review of the vertical revenue allocation formula for the country from the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission. The report recommends a reduction of 3.33% from the current federal government allocation, as well as an increase of 3.07% and 0.44% for states and local governments. The president said, as an advocate for grassroots development, he remains committed to ensuring that all tiers of government are treated fairly, equally, and justly in the sharing of national resources. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has the details.
Last reviewed 27 years ago, the proposed revenue allocation formula had its leading philosophy guided by the need for distributive justice, equity, and fairness as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution as amended. The principles also took into cognizance the indivisibility of the country, public opinion, and weighty constitutional responsibilities, as well as functions of each of the three tiers of government.
Your Excellency, it is with high sense of responsibility that I wish to inform you that after the application of the above analysis and considerations, the following new vertical revenue allocation formula emerged and are hereby advised. Federal government, 45.17%, state government, 29.79%, local government, 21.04%, special fund, ecology, 1%, stabilization, 0.5%, development of natural resources, 1.3%, federal capital territory, 1.2%, total 100%.
The submission of this report today, Mr. President, aligns with your avowed commitment to ensure that basic fundamentals are strengthened for equitable and just allocation of resources to all tiers of government for sustainable development in our country.
President Muhammadu Buhari applauded members of the commission for their diligence in ensuring that the processes leading to the report was all-inclusive.
Ordinarily, I would have gone ahead to table this report before the National Assembly as a bill for enactment. However, since the review of the vertical revenue allocation formula is a function of the roles and responsibilities of the different tiers of government, I will await the final outcome of the constitutional review process.
Some of the proposed amendments in the constitutional review process, he said, have a bearing on the recommendations contained in the report, including establishing local government as a tier of government and the associated abrogation of the state and local government's joint account. Others include moving airports, fingerprints, identification, and criminal records from the exclusive to concurrent legislative list, as well as empowering the Revenue Mobilization Commission to enforce compliance with remittances of accruals into and disbursement of revenue from the Federation account.
I want to assure you that the federal government will immediately subject this report to its internal review and approval processes while awaiting finalization of the efforts by the National Assembly. This strategy, rather than issuing an executive modification order, as was done in 1992, is more in line with our democratic tenets.
Having followed keenly most of the discussions held in the geopolitical consultative process, President Buhari said one thing that struck him clearly was the agreement that a review of the nation's vertical revenue formula cannot and should not be done emotionally, sentimentally, or arbitrarily. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The newly elected chairman of the governing APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, was one of the guests received earlier today by President Buhari at the presidential villa. The president tasked the APC national chairman to remain fair and firm in the discharge of his mandate, assuring Nigerians that his administration will sustain efforts at entrenching democratic principles in politics and governance. Here again is Adamu Sambu with the details.
The new national chairman of the APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, was accompanied to the State House by the immediate past chairman, caretaker and extraordinary convention planning committee of the party and governor of Yobe State, Mai Mala Buni. This is the first formal engagement between President Muhammadu Buhari and the new helmsman of the governing party. During their discussions held behind closed doors, President Muhammadu Buhari described as gladdening that APC has formally nursed its wounds and healed itself sufficiently to march forward as the next general elections draw near. He expressed the conviction that Nigerians will continue supporting the APC in its electoral battles in view of the giant strides achieved in the implementation of his administration's policies and programs aimed at nothing but the betterment of the country and its people in critical sectors of the economy. Senator Abdullahi Adamu, who spoke to newsmen shortly after, said he was in the State House to express formal appreciation to the president for his leadership, foresight, and forthrightness.
Since the end of the convention that took place on 26th of March, we've not come to meet with him, to thank him for providing leadership for the party to have a successful convention. Since the history of democracy in this country, First Republic, Second Republic, up to where we are today, I don't remember any convention the size we held. I don't remember any convention that there were misgivings about the possibility of his success than this one. We came out clean, and we thought the leadership that Mr. President provided the party has made all this possible. So I came with my predecessor to come and inform him that we have fully handed over. I'm in charge of this party, and by the grace of God, we will be honest. We will take the trust that is thrust on us with every seriousness, every sense of patriotism.
You are meeting the president for the first time since becoming chairman. How far so far in the execution of your mandate?
We are just 1 week since handing over. There isn't much I will tell the public at this point in time. But the president, as the head of this party, we owe him a duty to say this is how far we've gone, these are things we are doing to reform the party the best we can so that the party can tick and prepare itself for the forthcoming election. These are some of the things that are very fundamental to the life of any party, preparatory to the general election that we're facing.
Journalists sought to know from the chairman the option to be adopted by the party in producing candidates for the forthcoming general elections.
We get there, we will talk. All right? But the options are there. Direct primaries, indirect, and consensus. The party has a choice which of these paths it will take.
I'm feeling fulfilled, especially having conducted a Ranko-free seamless convention that ushered in the new leadership. And I'm happy with the leadership. And the party is more stronger, united now than ever before.
Governor Mai Mala Buni said he is now back home in Yobe State and fully committed to the execution of his mandate conscientiously. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, latest reports coming in from Buhari House, the APC National Secretariat in Abuja, indicate that women who want to run for elective positions on the party's platform will bear zero cost for nomination and expression of interest forms. It is apparently one of the major decisions taken by the newly elected National Working Committee of the party. Salihu Gwanara reports.
It is only when women.
The All Progressives Congress woman leader, Betta Edu, explained that the development is a wake-up call and morale booster as part of the legacy program of the party to encourage women's participation in politics.
Now you have been given the highest platform with the greatest chance of emerging as a winner of an election, because you will be running on the ticket of a ruling party, and not just a ruling party, a party that has performed, a party that is gender sensitive, a party that has provided welfare for Nigerians.
This, of course, is the first step in ensuring that we have more women in both elective and appointive position, because it is only when women take part in active politics that they take their rightful place in governance.
In another development, Ikechukwu Dallas Chima is aspiring to run for the office of the president come 2023 on the platform of APC.
Within 730 days, 285 million jobs in 3 months, automatic employment for all our graduates who complete the National Youth Service Corps.
Youth and women participation in governance, he said, will be a priority if given the party's flag. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
And still in politics, the National Reconciliation and Strategy Committee of the People's Democratic Party has submitted its final report to the National Working Committee, advising that the conduct of rank-of-free primaries into various elective positions for the 2023 general elections will further stabilize the party. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Chairman of the PDP National Reconciliation and Strategy Committee, Dr. Bukola Saraki, submitted a report to the party's national chairman, Yocha Ayu. Dr. Saraki emphasized that while so much has been done, there was still much to do, especially ahead of the 2023 general elections, advising the party leadership to at all times adhere to the principles of equity, good conscience, and inclusiveness.
To ensure a thorough and extensive scrutiny process in the selection of people who will be sent to go and conduct the primary election in the various states that will prepare for the 2023 election. Mr. Chairman, we cannot emphasize on this issue because from our exercise, we found out that this is, in most cases, where the problem starts in a lot of the state chapters that were involved. There must be people who are fair and who adhere strictly to democratic tenets. And sanctions should be meted out to those who you find that have gone to create crisis in states by their action.
Very soon we shall be inviting all of you, members of the committee and other party leaders, to come with the formal commissioning of the People's Democratic Institute. And we hope that that institute will help us in the next electoral campaign.
The party's National Reconciliation and Strategy Committee was tasked with the mandate of identifying and resolving disputes at various levels of the party structure and reconciling aggrieved members to promote cohesion and strengthen the party structure. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And in other news, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the federal government has set machinery in motion for the establishment of a 30-megawatt solar power plant in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, to augment power supply from the national grid. The Vice President stated this during a one-day visit to Maiduguri, where he witnessed the formal handover of 2 impressive structures, an international learning center and another international conference auditorium in the University of Maiduguri, both donated by business mogul Dr. Mohammed Ndimi. Mohammed Ibrahim reports that the twin projects were inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari in December last year.
While at the airport, the Vice President undertook an inspection tour of Oriental Energy Resources Limited hangar, conducted round by the Chairman and CEO, Alhaji Muhammad Ndimi, Nigeria's Vice President, while formally handing over the Twin Learning and International Conference Centers to the University of Maiduguri, said the federal government's Economic and Stabilization Plan will see to establishment of 6 solar plants of 5 megawatts each for Maiduguri metropolis.
The Buhari administration is also continuing to invest in the investment. The University of Maiduguri is in the phase 2 of what we call the energizing education program, funded through the Rural Education University. what's with that program is that the federal government, the rural education in partnership with the World Bank, is now on the advanced stages of establishing a 12 megawatt solar power facility here in
Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umara Zulum appreciated the Vice President for consistently boosting the resilience of Borno people by adding value on various official visits, citing positive impacts of the Northeast Children's Trust, and expressed gratitude to the donor whose business acumen has paid off for Borno people locally and internationally.
This is another milestone in the recovery and boosting of our resilience in critical infrastructure development as it affects education sector.
The philanthropist Alhaji Muhammad Indimi said the donation of the two centers is to consolidate on the promotion of education at the tertiary level and provide opportunities for many students to acquire conducive education he did not enjoy as a child, and to complement his scholarship to over 1,000 students.
It is my sincere hope that the facility shall add value to the university programs.
Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Ali Shugaba, said the institution will use the structures to broaden the scope of achieving global relevance and express gratitude to the donor. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
Time for our first break on the news. We'll be back shortly.
Hey guys, making music for you is so easy for me to do. But you know what else is super easy to do? Linking your NIN to your Glow line by dialing *109*NIN#. Or I can call 109 from my Glow line and follow the instructions. And if I don't want to call, I can text my NIN to 109. I can even visit glowworld.com/NIN. And what if you've forgotten your NIN? All you have to do is dial *346# and Glow will help you remember it. Someone may ask, what if I haven't registered? All you have to do is go into the nearest Glow World and we'll help you register. It's that easy. So don't get disconnected from all of the amazing voice and data offers from Glow. Linking your NIN to your Glow lines is simple, safe, and 100% free with zero hassles.
Papa, what are you here? Give me sugar, 200 naira own. Let me. What be that? Gabeg, no bring imported come here. Give me Dangote. Golden penny sugar. Anyone when they produce for Nigeria, now I want to. People think they know better thing, madam. Now because I sabi better, now I say, make you give me the one where we produce for Nigeria to make our country better.
Nigeria has the potential to be Africa's biggest sugar exporter. Let's grow and support our own local sugar brands. Each time you buy a local sugar brand, youths are empowered and more jobs created. Work with the government to grow the sugar sector by choosing to buy only local.
Madam, made in Nigeria sugar.
Buy only locally produced sugar. Let's sweeten Niger together.
Dear friend, how are you? I can smell the goodness of Easter around you. But wait a minute. Do you know you can enjoy Easter in luxurious comfort like never before? Because this Easter, Bedmates Furniture invites you to discover new levels of comfort with furniture that brings life to your home. Seriously, now is your last chance to have a memorable Easter and beyond. From 21st March to 20th April 2022, get furniture you love at unbelievable low prices with free gifts in our showrooms. Hurry now before others choose the finest units you want.
Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, and Voice of Nigeria, VON, cordially invite general public to the 16th Annual Ramadan Lecture. Topic: Social Media, Effect on Morality. Guest speakers, Professor Ishak Olariwaju Oloyede, Registrar, Joint Admission Matriculation Board, and Professor Ismail Shehu, Department of Political Science, ABU Zaria, under the chairmanship of Architect Muhammad Namadi Sambu, GCON, former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Special guest of honor, Right Honorable Oladimeji Bankole, former Speaker, House of Representatives. Royal Father of the Day, His Highness Ambassador Ahmed Nuh Bamali, Emir of Zazzau. Chief Host, His Excellency Malan Nasser Ahmed El-Rufai, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State. Hosts, Malan Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, Director General NTA. Dr. Mansur Liman, Director General FRCN, and Osita Okechukwu, Director General Voice of Nigeria. Date Saturday, 9th April 2022. Venue Lumana Multipurpose Center, River Close, off Jabi Road East, Kaduna. Time 9 a.m. Inshallah. Announcer, Organizing Committee.
Thanks for staying with us. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has urged secretaries to state governments to ensure that government programs and projects aimed at lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty are not truncated by political activities leading up to the 2023 general elections. He made the call at the first quarter SGF and SSG's 2022 forum in Abuja with the theme Bureaucratic Continuity during pre-election and transition periods. Mitari Ikben reports.
This forum of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation with secretaries to state governments was instituted to share best practices and encourage peer review of governance processes at the national and subnational levels. SGF boss Mustafa is frank with other top bureaucrats from the state that election years always throw up challenges of governance as well as sustainability of projects and programs of government at all levels. Hence the need to stay focused and committed, particularly to poverty alleviation programs.
It is important that we remain proactive if we need our principals to succeed in delivering promises made to the people.
And I'm pleading with the state governments to please support us in monitoring these programs.
Other speakers are unanimous that governance should not be overshadowed by electioneering campaigns.
By public service values, you are supposed to show political neutrality. You are also supposed to show impartiality.
How do we keep the government flowing so that we finish stronger than we started and leave a stronger delta? And it's not different from what I'm seeing here.
It will be useful to have the offices of Secretary to the state government to be the coordinating office for a lot of the federal government programs.
The bureaucrats were also reminded to drive the process of expanding vaccination coverage in their respective states, as the COVID-19 battle is not yet over. From the State House Conference Center, Abuja, Mitari Ikwen, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has acknowledged receipt of the revised fiscal framework from the presidency to enable amendment of the 2022 Appropriation Act. Some key parameters like the oil price benchmark and daily production output have been adjusted, while subsidy for petrol has been increased to reflect new developments in the global and domestic economy. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Which have necessitated the revision of the 2022 fiscal framework.
Speaker Bajabiamila, reading from the executive communication, says there is an increase of the projected oil price by $11 from $62 to $73 per barrel, while the volume of projected daily production outputs has been reduced to 1.6 million barrels per day, as against 1.883 million barrels. Other adjustments include an additional provision of 182.45 billion naira for the needs of the Nigeria Police Force. There is also an increase of 3.5 trillion naira on estimated provisions for subsidy, taking the figure up from 442 billion naira to 4 trillion naira.
The total budget deficit is projected to increase by 965.42 billion to 7.35 trillion, representing 3.99% of GDP.
Federal government revenue projection is being increased to 400 billion naira. Plenary featured the second reading of a bill to establish National Center for Curtain Research in Zamfara State, sponsored by Al-Mustafa Aliu, and bills to enforce rights of commuters, sponsored by Ibrahim Abdullahi. Meanwhile, the House is to investigate the Hajj savings scheme of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria.
The agreement made to be done between them is breached by NICOM, that's Hajj Commission of Nigeria.
The Hajj Commission, against their own act,
are now or have infiltrated into the funds, and which may cause hardship to the ordinary Nigerian who has contributed funds or hard-earned money.
Also to be investigated is the trending cryptic pregnancies due to health implications, as moved by Ikenna Lezanya.
Families who are desperate to have their own children have been lured into these fraudulent acts, where the women are injected with hormones of pregnancy. It is a fact that while these women parade as pregnant, no pregnancy is detected in the tests and ultrasound.
The motion on the need for authorities to ensure flood control in parts of Borno and Yobe states, as raised by Bukar Ghana, was adopted from the National Assembly. Lami Ali, NTA News.
A federal high court sitting in Abuja has refused to declare vacant the seats of Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade and his deputy over their defection from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress. Citing the verdict of the Court of Appeal Enugu Division, the trial judge, Justice Taiwo, departed from his earlier judgment and held on to the decision of the Court of Appeal on April 1, 2022, to the effect that defection is not an offence under the Nigerian Constitution. The court held that governors and their deputies can only be removed from office in line with sections 180, 188 and 189 of the Constitution, which stipulates that such elective office holders can only be removed from office on account of death, resignation or impeachment. Justice Taiwo said that since defection is not one of the offences provided for in the Constitution, no court has the power to insert such into the ground norm.
Co-party to another is doing so in exercise of his constitutional right for freedom of association and an assembly, and has committed no crime.
The Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Talon, at a National Policy Roundtable on Reconciliation, Peace and Security in Nigeria, says issues of national peace cannot be dealt with when women are not properly represented in decision-making. She noted that there is the need to implement resolutions made to include women in peace building at different fora. On the landmark judgment by the Federal High Court on upholding and implementing the provisions of the National Gender Policy 2006 for 35% affirmative action in appointive positions, Dame Pauline Talon commended all those who worked tirelessly to ensure that the yearnings of the Nigerian woman in the struggle for recognition in national development became a reality. The police is reaffirming readiness to combat crime and criminality, particularly in identified troubled spots across the country. Minister of Police Affairs Muhammad Maigari Dingyati stated this at an interactive session with crime correspondents in Abuja. Francis Form reports.
This interactive session with members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm is to solicit for continued support and cooperation in waging the war against all forms of crime and criminality. Police Affairs Minister Muhammad Maigari Dingyadi said the Nigeria Police Force is re-strategizing its kinetic and non-kinetic operations with a view to crush all forms of security challenges in the country.
The recent deployment of drones by Nigeria Police Force for surveillance of vulnerable locations and deployment of additional explosive ordnance devices to detect bombs and other combat measures will help in curtailing violent crimes.
It's a source of concern to all of us. Issues pertaining to operational intelligence, welfare of officers and men, and the bearing of arms by the civilians were raised at the interactive session.
I want to assure you that we have taken note of the issues that are raised.
The minister reassures Nigerians that the federal government is committed to ensuring justice for both victims of crime and their perpetrators. Francis from NTA News.
And still on security, the armed forces have upscaled operations to track perpetrators of the Abuja-Kaduna train attack and to forestall future occurrence. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Bernard Onyuko, stated this At a news conference in Abuja, defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
It is another defense media operations briefing on update on military operations across the country.
Among these exploits,
Top is the efforts to trace and track criminals involved in the recent train attack.
we will not relent on the adult task of protecting lives and property of Nigerians as we are stepping out our operations in all the theaters of operation.
Similarly, troops have raided different terrorist camps with arms and platforms recovered, while more than 51,000 unrepentant terrorists made their Waterloo.
2 kilometers south of Kolaram conducted air interdictions. We took a heavy stockpile of Islamic State of West African Province terrorist weapons depot. Cumulatively, in the last 2 weeks, troops recovered a battle tank, 5 artillery guns.
To further secure the nation's maritime domain, the Nigerian Navy has commenced indigenous systematic survey and charting of the nation's waterways to enhance security, trade and transportation. From the defense headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NT.
Nigeria has been removed from the piracy list by the International Maritime Bureau. This was made known at the 2021 ministerial press briefing on the transportation sector as federal government restates commitment for safe and efficient transportation system in the country. Oyinnaya Kaluoka reports.
The ministerial press briefing was an opportunity for the agencies in the transportation sector to present their scorecards in 2021. The maritime subsector in 2021 witnessed milestone achievements in the areas of infrastructural development, implementation of the harmonized procedures in ports, and security in Nigeria's terrestrial waters and the Gulf of Guinea.
Today, as the 3rd of March, Nigeria is being removed from the piracy list by the International Maritime Bureau. The agencies align with the responsibility to look and report of what is happening worldwide in terms of maritime security.
We're into collaborative relationship with the Navy with regards to providing us security to move cargo between Lagos and Onitsha using the inland waterway.
We realized that there was need to create more truck parks, especially in Lagos, in order to reduce the traffic gridlock.
In the railway subsector, 2021 was a good year, with the inauguration of the 157-kilometer double tracks state-of-the-art Lagos to Ibadan standard gauge rail line. In 2021, work commenced at the 203-kilometer Kano-Kaduna standard gauge rail line.
Security architecture is critical to a safe and sustainable transport system.
The annual ministerial briefing is aimed at creating awareness in the ministry's projects and activities. Oyinnaya Kaluoka, NTA News.
A bit on health now. The global community is being reminded of the founding mandates of the World Health Organization and the role the United Nations organization has played in fostering global well-being. Salwa Khalil reports that health authorities in Nigeria joined other nations of the world to commemorate this year's World Health Day.
With climate change, weather conditions are increasingly becoming more challenging, and processed food sometimes are contaminated as a result of many factors, making it injurious to various organs of the body, so says medical experts.
This emphasizes on getting what we call natural medicine. And for us to get natural medicine, we have to keep the planet healthy.
It is the 72nd anniversary of the World Health Organization and also the World Health Day. Countries, including Nigeria, are taking action against the negative impact of climate change and its implication to global health.
I would like to say that the current COVID-19 pandemic has actually helped Nigeria to improve their capacity in terms of detection.
Such an economy in Nigeria will improve the lives of many Nigerians and their environment while reducing exposure to environmental risks for future generations.
Climate change occasioned by human action have continued to pose health crisis. The World Health Day, therefore, is an opportunity to rethink our action and create the future we want. Salwa Khalil, NTA News.
A new medicine has now been introduced into Nigeria's health delivery sector for the prevention of postpartum hemorrhage. Elizabeth Omori reports that the new entrant is aimed at reducing maternal deaths, and it was applauded by the wife of the Niger State Governor, Dr. Amina Abubakar Bello.
World Health Organization report on maternal deaths shows that Nigeria accounts for over 34% of global maternal mortality. The risk for a Nigerian woman is 1 in 22 compared to 1 in 4,900 in developed countries. This disturbing figure necessitated the intervention aimed at reducing maternal deaths in Kano, Lagos, and Niger states.
Over this journey, we spent the first year of the program updating the necessary policies, and now in the second year we're training health workers. We've gotten the drugs in and then working to make sure we start to use it in the facilities in a sustainable way.
A lot of women don't have access to the proper oxytocin. So this is a very good strategy because we don't need to put them in the fridge, which means if women get that drug, then that PPH can be prevented.
The new initiative encourages states to implement financial implications for the adoption and rollout of medicines to align with WHO's 2018 recommendation on preventing postpartum deaths.
Particularly in the focus states of Niger, Lagos, and Kano, we started with training of trainers for national trainers, and we've been cascading to service providers.
Players in the health sector recommend strengthening of community awareness for effective service delivery. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
More activities are expected at the 11 frontline states where the Great Green Wall project is embarking on shelter belts to recover degraded land. New Director General, National Agency for the Great Green Wall, Yusuf Maina Bukar, gave the assurance as he officially takes over the agency. Salwa Khalil reports.
One of Nigeria's most ambitious climate change mitigation projects, the Great Green Wall Initiative, daring to establish an approximately 1,400 kilometers contiguous shelter belt, traversing 11 states where desertification has brought untold hardship to the farming population in the north, thereby forcing pastoralists to move southward with the attendant security challenge of farmers-herders conflict. For almost 4 years, Bukar Hassan was in charge of the Great Green Wall Agency. Planting trees, his assignment is now completed. Time for another Bukar.
People's living are changing. We provided some means of livelihood for some people, and therefore family income have increased.
Yusuf Maina Bukar takes over fresh mandate with fresh policy direction to check drought, hoping to restore the land to its green look, bearing in mind the challenges.
I'd like to show appreciation to His Excellency the President of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, the Ministers of Environment, for the job well done of what they've done. So talking about implementation, they've achieved a lot. We have more than 4,000 hectares now that we've recovered, and we intend to triple the effort.
It is a project covering about 35% of Nigeria's land area, but it will be achieved brick by brick, the new man promised. Salwa Khalil, NTA News.
About 200 beneficiaries in Ondo State have received over 200 million naira agricultural fund. The gesture is courtesy of the federal government, Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprises, Niger Delta, and the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD. Kayode Olonodari has details.
Beneficiaries selected from 100 communities in 10 local government areas of Ondo State is with the aggregate of 123 females and 137 males. The IFAD FGN Life ND program started in year 2020 with the aim of transforming rural economy to enhance income, food security, and job creation for rural youth and women through agribusiness enterprise development in the Niger Delta region of Nigeria.
You say that Ondo State is the first state in the Niger Delta state to graduate 260.
All of them, they have actually gotten the facilities in terms of poultry house, fish farm, land for cocoa production or for plantation and cassava production. We will give them the idea of what to do. We also give them the knowledge to do it. We also give them money.
The incubators who are charged to take advantage of the program to excel promised to ensure judicious use of knowledge acquired and money received.
I'm happy to be a poultry farmer now.
In Akure, Kayode Olorundare, and
Time to go over to Lagos and link up with Hingino for more reports. Hingino.
Thank you, Cyril. The federal government and the United Kingdom have unveiled online cybersecurity toolkits to help small and medium enterprises deal with cyber threats and sustain their business ventures on digital platforms for economic development. Musa Toliat reports.
My social media handle has been hacked before, and it took my business back to zero.
Kajitan is one out of the more than 1 million SME operators open to cyber attacks in the country. SMEs in Nigeria, like other parts of the world, are exposed to several forms of cyber attacks, including phishing, malware, ransomware, insecure passwords, and insider threats. This piece of the National Security Advisor is therefore geared towards introducing these SME operators.
Employment. So protecting SMEs from cyber harm is crucial for inclusive growth and for a prosperous Nigeria.
This partnership through the Digital Access Program covers some key objectives of national cybersecurity policy and strategy. That's our partnership with the UK government.
The project, designed to equip SMEs against the scourge of cyber attacks, will be executed through the UK Digital Access Program and its technical partners.
There's more vulnerability, controls and measures in place to prevent the bulk of that.
So what we have done with this toolkit is we've created...
There was a plenary session to share experiences with SME operators on cybersecurity consciousness. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
The Federal Operations Unit of the Nigeria Customs Service, Zone A, has arrested 23 suspects in connection with various seizures in the month of March, but the killing of one of its officers by smugglers has overshadowed this remarkable anti-smuggling drive. The acting controller, Hussein Ejibuno, warned that attacks on customs officers will no longer be treated with levity. Michael Olalege reports.
The total duty paid value of close to 770 million naira on seized items for the month of March is a perfect anti-smuggling record by the Federal Operations Unit Zone A. But recent trend as regard ambushing and maiming of officers is putting a dent on the celebration table. The Customs Acting Controller made reference to 3 major attacks within the month of March, but obviously furious with the killing of a customs officer along Senator Road in Ilaro axis of Ogun State, in which his lifeless body was dumped in a ditch dug by the smugglers. The bags of rice in contention are less than 50.
2 vehicles, one here, one the other side. Does it warrant shooting a group of officers? No, we are not going to take that again.
The prime suspect currently receiving treatment under the watchful eyes of the customs is among the 23 arrested, and a date in court is inevitable, together with the bags recovered behind a popular cement factory in Ogun State, and those loaded in this vehicle, rice equivalent of 11 trailers were seized. The anti-bunkering unit set up by the zone is making giant strides, leading to the interception of petrol, among which are stored in more than 70 sacks while being transported through the waterways around Seme.
The total quantity of fuel that we have gotten now is over 68,000 liters. You can imagine somebody exporting that outside Nigeria.
Other items seized include 2,150 cartons of frozen poultry products, 2,056 kilograms of cannabis sativa, and used clothing and tires. But the unit is sending a note of warning to smugglers to either choose legitimate transaction or face the music. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Time for our second break, but before then, we would like to remind you that you can follow this News broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on YouTube at NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News, Twitter handle at NTA News Now, and on Instagram at NTA Network for updates.
And people of Ebonyi State heartily welcome the Vice President of Nigeria, His Excellency Professor Yemi Oshibajo, SAN, GCON, on this auspicious occasion of the flag-off of the 21st edition of the Joint Planning Board and National Council on Development Planning and commissioning of some of the life-transforming projects of the administration of the Governor of Ebonyi State, His Excellency Engineer David Nweze Umahi, holding on the 8th of April 2022. We welcome the Honorable Minister of Finance, Mrs. Zainab A. Ahmed, the Honorable Minister of State, Budget and National Planning, Prince Clem Agbe, and the Federal Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Olushola O. Ido, as well as the 36 Commissioners of Budget, Planning and Finance and their Permanent Secretaries, holding at Africa's biggest state exco chambers, New Government House, Ochudo Centenary City, Abakaliki. Welcome to Ebonyi State, where accountability is our watchword. Signed, Publicity Subcommittee.
When you think of fruit juice and all the goodness that comes in it, think Chivita. It is many years of trust, quality, and all the goodness of fruit poured into one lovely bag, specially made for you. There is more to choose from. Whatever your preferences are, there is a Chivita for you. If you love an active life, or you just want to relax and unwind, if you are the cool dude, or simply want to try something refreshingly different, however you want it, there is a Chivita for you. Oh, yes. Check out our new Chivita Smart Malt Drink. Energy to learn, energy to play. So, what's your Chivita?
Oh. Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission? Yes, but how? Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam. The regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains remover. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergent and bleach. Oh.
Nigeria is strengthening ties with the financial sector, deepening FSD Africa to support growth in the economy. Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Lamido Yuguda, disclosed this when FSD Africa paid a working visit to the Commission in Abuja. Bossade Abel reports.
During the visit, both parties reviewed Nigeria's 10-year capital markets master plan, which seeks to support the country's economic resilience, human resource transformation, digital infrastructure, post-COVID economic recovery, as well as the effect of Russia-Ukraine war on global economy. Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Lamido Yuguda, says the financial sector deepening FSD Africa and the Commission's partnership will continue to build efficient and inclusive economic system.
You are doing so much, for our capital markets, and I think this is really, it's really well appreciated. And the good thing is that all those organizations that you are helping, I can tell you they are really getting stronger by the day.
Well, I just wanted to recognize, the courage of this organization for taking those decisions, because it's really important to do that.
The financial sector deepening FSD Africa's support comes as part of ongoing multi-country program to strengthen Africa's capital markets. In Abuja, Bossade Abel, NTA News.
And a high-level meeting between the Foreign Affairs and Interior Ministries was held to fast-track what they call a new era for consular affairs to Nigerians at various missions abroad, thereby breaking the jinx of difficulties in accessing those services. Usman Aliu reports.
It's a meeting that provides one major illustration, that is an end to difficulties in the issuance and renewal of passport at Nigeria's missions abroad. Foreign Affairs Minister Jeffrey Onyama says the solutions provided at the moment define Nigeria's international relations.
The bad old days are going to be very much behind us now, and we really are entering a whole new era of consular relations for Nigerians outside this country, and also for foreigners applying to come into the country.
Committees have been set up to look at those areas, and I'm confident that within the shortest possible time, we will resolve the differences and make our relationship on consular matters very, very seamless, effective, and efficient.
They say the new system will meet the expectations of those Nigerians in the diaspora. Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps Boboye Oyemi wants the 200 cadets from the Corps who graduated from the basic course to uphold discipline and make safety of Nigerian roads their priority. The Corps Marshal was speaking at the passing out parade of 2021 cadet officers at the Corps Academy in Udi, Enugu State. Chika Ugu reports.
These 200 cadets from different states in the country were put through 6 months of thorough regimentation and educational training in various fields and certified worthy both in character and learning to become officers of the Federal Road Safety Corps.
I wish to assure Nigerians of the operational readiness and capacity of FRSC to work assiduously towards minimizing road traffic crashes on the nation highways.
While preparing to be posted to various formations in the Corps, the officers expressed determination to discharge their duties with utmost responsibility.
We've garnered lots of knowledge, ranging from how to be a patriotic citizen and also contributing my quota towards making the roads safer.
High point of the event was the presentation of awards to the cadets who distinguished themselves in various fields. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
Time for another quick break.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve their sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news, or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
The NTA family mourns Ita Etemikpang, a Deputy Director of Programs at the NTA International. Late Ita is survived by his wife, Basi Ikpang of NTA News International, and children. A final interment will take place tomorrow, Friday the 8th, at his family compound in Nong Ikpang Itu local government area of Akwa Ibom State by 10 o'clock in the morning. And the burial of late Sarah Omorewu Ogungwemi commences with Christian wake on Friday, April 15, at Ogungwemi compound, Iya Bade Ijumu local government, Kogi State. A church service is scheduled for Saturday the 16th, while reception follows the next day, 17th of April. The late Sarah Omorewu Ogungwemi died at the age of 95. And that concludes Network News tonight. But remember to be part of the fight against rape and rapists. Join the NTA. I'm Cyril Stober. Good night.